Hey guys, Namaskar. Back with something very interesting again, and today it's about something that is very close to my heart. Uh, Being a former sportsman, it is about sports. It is about IPL to be precise, but it is not just about IPL. Through IPL, I'm going to try to highlight something in the society that is very glaring, and I feel that needs to be addressed at some point for us to be able to, uh, move forward as a society and also as individuals of uh, a functioning society. So, here goes. So, stay till the end. I think it's going to be very interesting, and also, you can sort of drop your comments and share your agreement or disagreement about it. So, yeah, stay till the end. And here goes. So, um, if you've noticed the news, you will see that there's been a sharp drop in viewership in IPL, about 26%. And if you're on X, you will see uh, Harsh Goenka, the founder of Seat. He's posted on X about it, and he said, according to him, that the pitches being very batting friendly, it is affecting the viewership, and the BCCI needs to take a look at that. So that's what he thinks, and of course, some people think that it's the fatigue that is a fatigue that has set in the viewership, and people are just not interested with cricket happening almost every month with something or the other. So yeah, so this is kind of, these are the two things that people are generally sort of talking about with regards to this drop in viewership. And let me just tell you here that IPL drop in IPL viewership is not good in terms of the entire sporting ecosystem of the country, because a drop of 26% in the flagship league of the most popular sport of the country is not good. So many people suffer at the lower rung, and many unknown problems set in because of that. You see industrialists like Mr. Goenka uh, tweeting about it. Maybe many people in the boardrooms are discussing that the money they have paid for the sponsorship and all those may not have been value for money because of the drop in viewership. So yeah, I think it's not great, but here's what I think. Here's what I think the reason behind the drop is, and I think it is because of Dream 11 and the companies like Dream 11 not functioning anymore. It is because of the blanket ban that the government has sort of brought in for the real money gaming industry. And I think that is having the real effect on the drop. Because let's be honest, if you look at human psychology, we are all driven by incentives. So with the stop in real money gaming, people don't have incentive enough to go and watch IPL. Just the other month it was the World Cup T20, and now it's IPL, without any direct involvement, which real money gaming was providing. People are not interested. I mean, we all know how humans are incentive driven, and this is, I think, the prime example reason why there's been a drop in viewership. And you may agree, you may not agree, but there's no doubt that we don't do things until unless there's incentive for us to do things. Even when even the most selfless act is also incentive driven in terms of you getting satisfaction, you getting happiness. That's a high enough, that's a really strong incentive. So many people may think, oh no, there are people who don't function, we who function without any incentive. But let's say, you are going ahead and doing something very selfless, as let's say, running an orphanage or whatever. But that, even those things, or maybe feeding hungry people or whatever, even those things bring a, I mean, are associated with a very strong incentive, which is your happiness and satisfaction. So yeah, I don't buy the point that humans are not incentive driven. So yeah, I think that has been the real reason. And by blanket banning the industry, what has the government done is, they have sort of tried to become the, the savior, the father figure, the sort of messiah of the poor. You may uh, come and ask me, as come and pose the question, as uh, right, what about the laborer who lost his entire saving, or entire bank balance because of these real money gaming? But by blanket banning, the government has just sort of, I feel, taken the shortcut. What do you gain by blanket banning? What lesson do you give by blanket banning? Nothing. How, let's say, you want to sort of teach people that real money gaming is bad. So I think there should have been a campaign against it. There should have been a campaign against it. The company should have probably told that you will not be able to do ads like how cigarette companies and alcohol companies have been told. But by blanket banning, they have missed out on an opportunity, to sort of educate the people about the harms of real money gaming. And by they have just sort of taken the shorter cut, and said, let's just ban it, and let's not take this opportunity to educate people. So I feel uh, blanket banning doesn't serve any purpose. It just serves the purpose that the government has all the power. And this is I mean, as a country, that we don't need, because of late I've been observing that elections have become such kind of a show, and such kind of a winning and losing elections. Winning and losing are just everything in elections, and the entire country is sort of functioning on just this thing, winning elections or losing elections. So this thing shows that the sort of power uh, the government has. And what do you mean by government? In that is a group of people having unlimited power to sort of affect other people's lives. And by allowing this, by sort of accepting these things, we are just saying to the government that my life, our life's responsibility is just yours, and we don't have any responsibility of for ourselves. But I think blanket banning is also at a deeper level that sort of a message. Uh, what the government should have done in this is, they should have empowered the people, especially the poorer people, and made them sort of uh, learn that these things are not good enough. Maybe they should have started a campaign, as they have started with mutual funds sahi hai. That is a brilliant campaign by the government, and I think many people got educated on money because of that. And also, that is the real job of government, I feel, just to sort of be there as a friend, as a, but not as a guide, be there as a sort of companion, but not as a father, a parent, or a sort of a guardian or whatever. So I think our focus as a society, as a country should be that, each individual should be more responsible, and even the government uh, at this point will have to be more selfless in educating people to sort of be more responsible, empower them to be, take their own decisions, make critical judgments, be critical, and that is the real purpose of, having a government. That is the real purpose of sort of democracy, and that is how I feel, we move forward as a society. So I hope I've been able to explain this. If you like it, like, and please do comment your agreement, disagreement, and like, subscribe, share. Bye bye.